Hello, everybody, and welcome back to reviewing every single WrestleMania main event in history. Today, we are on episode 13, reviewing WrestleMania 13, where we saw Sycho Sid defend his WWF Championship against The Undertaker. So, this is one of the most disliked early WrestleMania main events. So, I don't know anything about it. I have never seen the match before. All I know is the winner. So, I'll be giving you my very raw reactions after I've seen. Everybody just got finished watching the match, and I'll say this match, it's all right. I wouldn't say this is one of the best ones we've seen, but I wouldn't say it's one of the worst we've seen. And it fits pretty well in the middle of the pack. So let's get into the pre-match notes. There are quite a bit for this one. So Shawn Michaels, who could not compete due to a knee injury, comes out first for guest commentary. And as he's coming out, he looks at the camera and quickly goes behind his coat. This is referencing his friends Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, who had recently left for WCW, a rival company. And they were in a big group called the Click, and the Click symbol was this. So the following night's Nitro, the rival brand's weekly television show, Kevin Nash came out and said, "Right back at you, HBK," while making the Too Sweet symbol.
Eric is out. Right back at you, HBK.
So this is a little reference, they still watch each other's stuff, cool, and it's just silly little fun. So Sid does his pre-match promo, as we saw in WrestleMania 8. Go watch that if you haven't. And instead of how he did that promo, he does this promo. He's yelling really loud, and he's talking about he hates The Undertaker. I really don't like that guy. I am the master and the ruler of the world. And I'm just there, what? Ah, oh my gosh, what? Ah! And it's really painful to listen to this promo because of how mid it is. So everybody comes out, and Bret Hart randomly walks out, and he's just He had just recently beaten Stone Cold Steve Austin in a submission match, which is probably the most well-known match from this WrestleMania. He comes out, and he points at Shawn and says, "You should not interfere in this match." He runs down Undertaker, saying that they used to be friends, but aren't any longer, and runs down Sid, saying that Sid is a fraud. Sid's standing there, doing that, I'm mad at you, but I'm going to pretend like I'm not by smiling, looking around. It happens all the time. And then Sid starts punching him. Bam, bam, bam. Gets him up. Powerbomb to Bret in the middle of the ring. Sid grabs a microphone of his own. Sid is represented by Ric Flair because I don't have a Sid. And that he should take his whining ass out of here. And once Bret leaves, he says, "Hobble along, crybaby." Those are two direct quotes. So Undertaker jumps him from behind, and the match begins. As the match begins, I noticed that the ring is still covered in Stone Cold's blood from that match with Bret Hart, and that, it's pretty prominent in one little part of the ring. Like, if this is the ring, right? Let's presume this side is the hard cam side. There's a ton of blood right here, and it's kind of spattered around like this. So throughout most of the match, there's clear blood all over the canvas. But they do go out of the ring quite a bit for this match, so it's not overbearing towards the actual action going on in ring. So Sid does take control after Undertaker had jumped him with a bear hug and some forearm strikes to the back, which is his main target for this match. Undertaker is thrown out of the ring, and Undertaker gets kicked over the French announce table. Now, generally, when you get kicked onto an announce table, for assuming this is the announce table, you would generally kind of go, you've just been kicked, boom, you might go like this, and maybe roll down. But Undertaker, he gets kicked by Sid, bang, and just goes and absolutely crashes over these French guys. They talk about how some of the guys over there, Hugo Savinovich, is like injured from it, and the whole announce table gets destroyed a few seconds later after Sid throws Taker through it, and the whole thing falls over. So, great job really helping out the French here by giving them a very clean surface to work on. So the commentators reveal the match is now a no DQ match, which is why Sid can do all this, because they stay out of the ring for quite a while. Originally, the match was not. It was originally solely a singles match, but both Sid and Taker had said, "Yo, we want this to be a no DQ match." And Gorilla Monsoon, the WWE commissioner, F at the time, said, "Okay, sure, I don't really care. Go ahead." So it is no DQ. So Sid gets a power slam off, and it's pretty good. Gets a 2. He's like, covers again, gets a 2, yells extremely loud. I don't want to yell it that loud. Damn it! And then covers him again for a 2. And he gets very angry and keeps fighting. Taker gets control and throws Sid over the barricade on the outside of the ring, beats him up there for a while. And they go back in the ring, alternate control for a minute, and then hit double boots to the face of each other. Bang, and both get knocked down in the middle of the ring. After that, Sid is able to recover stronger and starts to take control. However, Sid has been going up a lot on the top rope during this match. They mention it quite a bit. Because Sid, generally, he's a powerhouse guy. But throughout this match, you'll see him go, here, up here, oh, big double axe handle, drop kick. I don't think he does drop kick. Like, flying shoulder tackle or something. Does moves like that for quite a lot of this match, because you can't really take down, the Undertaker at this point in his career. So he goes for it again, and while Undertaker's down in the ring, see if you can take a guess what happens, because it's an Undertaker match. Taker sits up. Sid's like, Taker runs over, throws him off of the top rope, and takes control. So Taker signals for the tombstone, looks at the crowd, He doesn't make the face, he just does the thumb motion and gets Sid up, but Sid reverses into a pretty clean tombstone of his own. He's got Sid up in just this part of the position. Sid's able to wiggle backwards, flip him over. He's in tombstone position and delivers a pretty good looking tombstone. Like, I would be convinced. Now, Taker's head is a little bit higher than it should be to make it look real. However, it's pretty convincing, and Sid is very shocked. He makes like a goofy face when it doesn't get the 3. He, he does the, hand motion, covering like this. 1, 2, duh? It didn't win? So he's like, and he gets angry at this point. So they start fighting outside of the ring, and that damn Bret Hart runs out again. So they're fighting on the outside of the ring. Bam. Bret Hart comes in from behind, chair shot to Sid, not once but twice. Sid's taken out, and Taker takes control. Then, all the referees have to run out. Hey, what are you doing here? Get out of the way, move. So he's kind of standing near the entrance ramp throughout the rest of the match. So Sid now is rolled back in the ring by Taker, but yet again, because Sid has somehow got like 80,000 XP during this match, and can survive nearly everything with his health points. He's getting beat up in the ring. And while Undertaker bounces off the ropes to kind of deliver like a flying elbow, ducks under it, and Taker lands on the inside of the ring, but is very dazed. So Sid's looking around. He sets up for the powerbomb, and that damn Bret Hart runs in again. Like, jeez, man. Sid's ready. He's got the powerbomb. Bret runs up. Na. Sid's like, oh, no, I can't go. I can't do the powerbomb now because there's somebody distracting me. Has to run over. They tussle on the ropes. Bret drops him, hangs him up. Sid's, he's gotten a bunch of damage to his throat throughout this match. He walks straight backwards into a tombstone. Taker knocks him down and wins the WWF Championship by getting the 1, 2, 3. So, good for Taker. It's definitely a solid match to get your first WWE title win, and he doesn't celebrate it as Shawn Michaels did the prior year. Shawn was very ecstatic about it, but because of his character, Taker was able to, hold up the character and stay pretty solid. I do believe right after he made the cover, he kind of looked down, and so people couldn't see his face, and he was probably chanting to himself, I finally did it. I did the thing that I've always wanted to do, blah, 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 blah. But the match, booking-wise, other than the Bret stuff, was okay. It was a pretty boring match if you didn't have the Bret involvement, which obviously was setting up for a Sid-Bret feud going in for the next couple of months. I don't actually know how that turned out.
It seems this was not a start to a feud, but more the end of one, as they never had another WWE match again, and only competed in WCW afterwards.
But overall, I would say this match is probably in the middle of the rankings. I'd give it maybe a B-. And somehow, while the Bret involvement made it more interesting, it also made it a worse match because it made me like, so that's how the title's going to change hands? Bret Hart running interference again and again? Boo. So I didn't really like that much. However, again, it was a decent match. Sid is probably one of my... I actually kind of like Sid. I know a lot of people don't. But I think his matches were really good. So, go Sid. He did, the little S-I... D. I said, cool. Well, that's all I have for you. This was a pretty good match. I do recommend you go back and watch it, if not just for the historical value, but for the match quality as well. Make sure you have a good day, good evening, good night, good morning, good dawn, good dusk, good whatever. Watch any former or future episodes of this series, and goodbye.